thousands and thousands of men died. But like I said before, they don't do this to glorify war. They're simply doing this to show you a part of the history.
Feet below the hill where they had sent up their cannons and disembarked and went up this hill and then moved inland, which the ground was very level. It was quite wooded, but it was very level. But it was, that is what's known as Shiloh Hill. I don't know if you've heard the song On Top of Shiloh Hill, but that's because it was way above the Tennessee River, about 300 feet.
Cool.
The Confederates first opened up under the command of Beauregard. Now Beauregard was also the commander at the opening shots of the Civil War in Charleston, South Carolina, when they fired upon Fort Sumter. So he started to open up with them and loosen up the poor boys that were in camp and let them know that they're coming.
That's a little motor.
They'd not be firing on them, so they've got to get the wherewithal and unstack arms, leave their half-cooked breakfast,
Mom's down.
leave all of their good equipment, everything there, because they have to fall in line as soon as possible.
We've got a shade tree over there, so we're by a shade tree. Hello.
Suddenly, after the cannon fire, up on the top of the ridge, Johnson's First Corps appeared. At first, they could just see the tops of the flags. And then when they saw the number of flags there, they knew that a full corps that they were going to have to...
Here they come.
And of course, these guys were all green. They had never been tested before. They had never, ever been under fire. The troops that came under fire first were the 17th Indiana and a couple of Illinois units. These were not the Iowa boys. However, most of Sherman's 40,000 men, now they are starting to test, the Confederates are starting to test the Union left flank. The Union left flank was under the command of William L. Wallace, William Lew Wallace. Now you've heard of Lew Wallace, and most of you attribute it to the Governor Wallace, governor of New Mexico, and he also wrote Ben-Hur. That's a different Lew Wallace, but that Lew Wallace that wrote Ben-Hur was also at Shiloh, and he was the commander on the right flank. So there were two Lew Wallaces as commanders at the Battle of Shiloh. They had heard that those 300 guys went out to chase down some skirmishers, and they think that that's all it is. And the Union Army was well known for a little overkill. They think they might have had about a dozen Confederates and 300 guys out there with artillery and everything else. But meanwhile, General Prentiss is being pushed back. Beauregard's artillery continues to pound on them. It is not real effective, but it's very frightening to these green soldiers who have never been under fire, even though the artillery is not killing a lot. It's blowing the heck out of the trees over their heads and stuff, and it's really frightening when the trees are blowing apart and being hit by these cannonballs, and they're having a hard time holding a lot of these boys in line. An awful lot of boys were just throwing their rifle and running at that time. So he sent his surgeon over to care for his adjutant. That's the kind of man he was. Even though he was wounded, he didn't feel it was too bad of a wound.
Johnson.
But when they pulled him off the saddle, the blood just dumped out of his boot. It had hit the ephemeral artery, and he was bleeding to death. They laid him over under a tree, and he was still giving orders as he sadly slipped away and died under that tree. Part of Stewart's infantry, and to at least harass Stewart's artillery. It wasn't very successful, however, it did slow them down in Illinois, but a very small number out of these 5,000 men. Was coming in now. And they tried to charge on the Union right. But the Iowa boys were able to put up a steady barrage of fire, and they were able to hold them, and they were not overrun. They are now starting to take some pretty massive casualties, though. Meanwhile, the Iowa boys continue to take hits. Their numbers are now whittled down to probably yeah, very efficient, sir.
But lots more time for the battle.
Keeping your heads down too. You're too tough to get wounded over here. Wallace's artillery pieces are unable to help Prentice at all. They are out of ammunition. Beauregard's all three brigades now are charging the Hornets' Nest. They are being overrun. They are all wounded. There were about 1,500 that escaped. But there are over 2,500 soldiers that are killed or captured here in the Hornets' Nest. 95% of them are Iowa boys.